Whoa! Boom! Personality turns on right now. Woo! Schmegel's Pain. What's up, buddy? Tumbling champion, cheerleading champion, tricking champion, parkour extraordinaire. Where are you off to next, mate? You're going to become a world juggling champion? Is that on the cards?
I was looking at mixed martial arts pinballing.
Pinballing. What is
No,
pinballing?
it was the first random thing that came to my head. You know, pinball like
Uh-huh.
Pasha, but not human
Yeah, yeah.
size. Like arcade
Mm-hmm.
addict. Yeah.
Arcade addict, yeah, just kind of puts you in like, oh, you could get into like an insane soft box, like the one with the padded walls, and then just do your art, bro. Just
That's what I'm
art.
saying. Start with a yeah, little dance.
So Bailey Payne is a prolific athlete in many, many trades, as you just mentioned. He's also goes by Bagels Payne. Do you want to explain to people why bagels?
Yeah, let me simplify it. So 2010, there's a YouTube video I made with a bunch of my OG parkour tricking friends in South Carolina. And
Mm-hmm.
the video had really nothing to do with the sport we are doing. It was just more so the concept of the fact. And at the end of the video, this guy walks in the house unstaged, offers everyone bagel bites. And I'm the only one who didn't like them, and they're like the little pizza balls. And then for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, that was just a big enough statement to say for my friends to forever call me Bagel Bite, and then it just shortened to Bagels. It's pretty stupid, but like,
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's the way I think the best nicknames are formed is when it comes over something from a situation or like a natural state. Like you remember Lucy Steele?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people used to think that
Legend.
that was because she was hard, like because she's steel, but it's actually because one of the first nights that they went out with Tempest and they all went out partying together, she got absolutely destroyed on steel beer, which is like a
Ah,
cheap American beer, as far as I know. And so yeah, she became Lucy Steele, and everyone was like, yeah, Steele, like. It's just because, yeah, similar to you, the situational variables created that nickname.
yeah, and it's something I didn't like growing up, but like as you get older, you just don't care,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
becomes who you are. You identify with it.
Yeah, I tell everyone
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like in any professional or not professional situation, I always introduce myself as Bagels. Like it's been a
Yeah,
day one thing. It's
the
just who I am.
identity.
I can't argue it. It's just that's how it is.
That's cool, man. And so, what would be your full name backwards? I don't know if you've ever thought about that. It'd be
Oh,
like
slabah.
Slabach. So it'd be like Enyap Slabach Il Eliab,
Eleva. Like
Eliab. Oh, whoa, you could be like Eliab Bailey backwards, like Eliab, right? Yeah,
Yela Eleva.
bro, you can fit in anywhere with that name. You go around the world, international
Same with
bagels.
Dom. Dom
Dom,
is
mine just mod.
Dom and
Kinney
Mod.
mod. Oh, it's Omas uh, Osamat id Kinney mod. That's the
I
full
think you have a secret profession that no one knew about.
what?
Saying words backwards so
Uh,
easily.
I mean, if you've got it written on the page in front of you, is like I've got Bailey Payne written with like my little notes here, so I just kind of like seamed it, like read it backwards.
Techie brain.
Okay, if you could have a superpower, then what would that superpower be, Bailey?
Shoot, I've had this thought for the longest time, bro. Because
Mm-hmm.
like, I honestly, mine would have to be seeing the future.
See in the
Like
future. Okay.
everyone says super strength or flying or hold your breath, but like, I mean, I've got a taste of what flying feels like. I've held my breath underwater, not forever, but I got a glimpse. But I've never had a glimpse of seeing what the future is. And if I knew what was in the future, I could do something to prevent it or make sure it happens.
To go into more specificity, would it be like you get like a 10-second glimpse into the future, or you can kind of like Doctor Strange meditate and like see different alternate
A
futures? What would be the
straight Doctor Strange, and I can
what?
run scenarios in my head of like if I chose to go this way, what would happen, or if I chose to go this way, what would happen, and then now I can just I can think for anyone now.
Yeah, yeah. You can kind of play your cards in the way.
I can set everyone up for life. You're making me speak as if I'm getting this ability now.
No, that's it. That's what we want. That's what we want. We want to feel the superpower. If you could show like an achievement or a clip or like like a singular thing that you've done with your career and movement over the years, what would you show your younger self before you started anything, to kind of give yourself like a pinch point of motivation or something to be careful of, or what it would be?
Ooh, good question. Honestly, there's a lot of answers I could give you, but
Mhm.
I'd say the
Just off
best
the top,
answer would be is corks.
just in general, corks,
Cor-
just showing yourself
Bro,
corks,
showing
not
myself
a
corks.
singular like the 27 in a row, or the, is it
One,
27?
because me learning one led to 28 corks, led to me going on the Ellen show,
Ah,
led me to going here, led me to this collab, led me to
so it
Red
would
Bull
just be
here.
corks.
It's just one trick, just expanded is so much bigger than I could have ever imagined.
That's cool,
It's
man.
crazy. It's just like the backflip. How crazy has the backflip change? But
Hmm.
not just the flip itself, but like you as a human. How can one flip that costs no money to do change one person's life?
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. I mean, I can relate with the diving
Front
front flip
flips.
just being
Yeah,
like my,
exactly.
it's like the thing I love doing, the thing that became kind of a staple and did catalyst a lot of what drove the career. And then also like, yeah, it's still a bigger part of the wider movement that we all
Yeah, I
enjoy.
feel like a lot of people just especially these days now are trying to like do specific tricks because that's what's cool or that's what they're gonna get recognition for. So they'll send it. But like, bro, we've been doing this for so long before it was even recognition on social media. We just actually truly love the sport. And
Hmm.
this is like something for me. I constantly get hate for following or posting fails, or oh, someone yesterday post comment on my post when I double back to my face and you're like, oh, dude, that's so dope. You posted it. You're a really confident guy. I'm like, all I could think in my head is, are you an idiot? How, the confidence has nothing to do with me showing you my failures. I've
Hmm.
been posting my fails. I've been
Yeah.
showing you I'm at. In fact, I probably post more fails than wins.
Yeah,
It's
your
just,
recent bunch of stuff on the slanted concrete wall, and there's like a good couple of like, you get the first progressions, and then the next bunch of things you're trying, you're just like and slap
yeah,
and ground slaps, man. They're painful.
yeah, it adds up, but at the same time, I love it. And I'm doing
Mhm.
all those slanted wall tricks in that specific spot. I'm doing alone. I've never trained with anyone there. So I'm like put my phone on a water bottle. I'm having a field day for like 20 minutes, just doing my
Jeez.
thing. No
Yeah.
music, no hype, just by myself and my thoughts. It's
Hmm.
crazy.
And is that something like you'd say you're doing now more, is training by yourself and doing isolated training more than just training with the
Well,
group?
I've been living in LA for the past 5 years, and I just moved to
Yeah.
Florida 2 months ago. So whole
Hmm.
new community, whole different structure. Like in LA, people are always able to train. Always. You already know this. Florida,
Yes.
everyone has jobs. So people are
Hmm.
training once a week. And if they are training, majority of them don't want to drive anywhere. So they're in like the Miami area, which is like an
Centralized. Yeah.
hour away. So it's either I
Okay.
drive like 2 hours a session every once a week, or I can just go session by myself and do it multiple times a day and not travel
Hmm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to do a little bit of both, but
Of
it just
course.
depends on the mindset you're in.
Yeah, yeah. So you kind of play your training on how you're feeling. There's not too much structure around like per week or per month. It's just like wake up, feel what you want to do with that day, and go for that.
Yeah, I remember like right before I went to Amsterdam last week, I woke up at 6 a.m. just to go train on that wall because I was dreaming about one trick of trying. And I literally the second of sunrise, I went out. And
Hmm.
the day before it was raining. So I was like, oh, it's dry this morning. I have to take advantage of it. And literally, that's like straight dedication. You wake up right out of your sleep, no shower or anything. You just grab my longboard and skated straight to the spot.
The spot. Yeah,
Started
sick,
training.
man. And that's the beauty of training by yourself, I guess, is that you can kind of work very much at your own tempo, very much at your own speed when you have that motivation, as opposed to having to organize and wait for others to come and like, someone to fill, someone to bounce ideas off. It's a lot of organization. And if you can just do that, like wake up and go, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
How was your year as a whole this year for you? How's it been? It's good.
Bro, honestly, one of the best years for training for sure. If you're talking
Yeah,
training,
nice.
for training, most definitely, because I definitely improved my parkour this year a
Hmm.
lot compared to last year. I even traveled a lot more for parkour, which I've never done in the past. And I went
Sick.
international for it. So that was
Yeah.
sick.
And
And then
enjoying
like,
that lifestyle of traveling with parkour and doing more parkour.
yeah, it's just there's more options. Like there's more variables more obstacles,
Yeah.
like tricking, it's all flat. The only obstacle is your injuries and yourself.
Hmm.
Parkour, there's heights, there's depth, there's this, there's that.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much more in the mix. And I
Yeah.
like that
Things to think
because I
about.
like it. I like getting technical in my tricks. So like the knowing that I can add some techie tricking stuff involved with the like parkour free running is like something I find pretty cool. Even though like I had a field day doing it at first. Now I find myself besides the wall tricks, that's all random, it's unplanned. But like I
Hmm.
love parkour honestly more than free running in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean
Just
that
Kong
I
prees, plyos, safety prees, descent, stuff like that.
yeah,
It's
the stuff
just
where it's just interacting with the space, not necessarily in like a acrobatic way of doing like rotations. It's literally just learning to utilize the space and climb over, get through, get under, get over, like really smoothly and
yeah,
using your body like an athletic way. Um, it feels like,
almost
yeah,
like I'm more of a fan of like the original capstone, like that type of stuff. That's why I've been finding myself more
yeah.
recently wanting to do like just big drops, splat a wall, take a drop. Like that's
I
just the
think
stuff you
there's
just see people don't do.
Yeah, I think
And
it's something
like
really exciting and enticing about that style to the everyday person as well. Like it's not like a hard triple cork where they're like, oh, that was cool. Like that you see someone jump from a story, hit a wall 15 foot away and drop to the floor, and you're like, wow, that was physically and mentally impressive because you can like imagine those circumstances a bit better.
yeah, and a lot of people can say like, "Oh, well, you're just jumping off the ledge," and that I'm like, "No, it's not just jumping. There's technique behind it." Just like you saying, "Oh, triple court, you just throw it on here." No, you triple court differently on different surfaces. Same
Absolutely.
as you jump. You don't jump on the grass. Same as you jump on the concrete.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's a totally different like spectrum that you need to attain, even like walls to flat to rails to landing on a horizontal wall. There's a lot of things that horizontal wall, vertical wall, that can go into it. If you had a fave month out of your training this year, or even like your personal life, is there a favorite month that stands out to you? Not
Ooh,
necessarily just around parkour.
this year, favorite month, honestly, July.
July.
That was my last month in London. And I
Hmm.
remember being there for like 2.5 months. And I what right, my goal in London was not to do IMAX. It wasn't to do IMAX 2. It was really just go train at the spots, feel them out, don't have to do all the big shit, nothing to prove, literally.
Yeah,
So then I
just
come to the
experience it.
final day. Yeah, I'm at this the final day. I'm in Datchet, an hour away at Orlando's, and it's my last day there. And I'm like, boys, y'all want to go to IMAX? They're like, not today. I was like, oh, you're really gonna make me go take the train right now. All right, by myself. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went down there. Ali eventually met up with me, and then I'd say not even an hour. I was with Max Ward too. It was just Max
Hmm.
Ward and I originally, and then trained for like an hour, sort of light drizzling. And then something inside of
Classic
me
Woodford.
just was like, yo, let's go to IMAX 2. I literally went to IMAX 2, was so scared for the longest time. And then I don't know, something in me just made me just send like the Kong just like cat from the road to the wall.
Yeah,
And once I
the
broke
classic
that, I was
split.
like, oh shit, okay, not that bad. And then I went for the crane and that got a little more juice in it. I was like, whoa, I actually got on top of the wall.
Well, you've got an
Doesn't make
incredible
sense.
amount of explosive power. So it is really for you, I think, once the skill's there, it is a bit of a mental battle. Like, oh, I'm going to do something over height and trusting
Huge
the
mental.
prior knowledge that you have with the data. Like I've done 150, 200 Kongs, like at these circumstances, I need to like bank on all that data instead of having like someone like Max Ward even would have like 10,000 in the bank from doing parkour for, almost 10 years. And it's a hard battle, but you do have a lot of power, so you can make it up onto that wall.
Well, that's where I was getting to is I once I
Yeah.
got to the crane, then I went for the actual pre from the road to there and I made it and I was like, dude, no way that just happened. And that like I haven't had a feeling like that inside in years. I was like, dude, something's up. This is like
Hmm.
good. But
Yeah.
then I knew in my head, like, I've done it, but I haven't because you haven't done it until you've gone back the other way and in the
Yeah.
middle.
Hmm.
So then I was like, Max, I might just take that. He's like, bro, no, your Kong is bouncy. And Ali's like, bro, I think you can actually just do it on the middle. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't prep it how I prep these other ones because I'm taking that drop.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you got to just send it. And then literally They convinced me 10 minutes later, and I just did it first try. I landed on the
Yes.
concrete, jumped out after. I was like, holy crap. I like blacked out. I don't even remember
Hmm.
doing it because I remember just running and then I was on the wall and I was like, that's a scary feeling. And
Yeah,
then
man.
I was like, dude, honestly, once is luck, twice is skill. So I had to do it
Mm.
again. And I didn't expect anything out of it, but I did the concrete landed. Then I went front round off double full, and I was like, oh, all
Yeah.
right,
And
that's the
that's like
one.
the iconic combo of those spots is like anything where you go over the gap and you come out, and I think any add a little bit of spice
Tumble.
in the end makes it, yeah, like some people do like pop side back full, or Brendan did
Yeah.
round off double back
Double
up to the
back. I
Kong
wanted
front.
a triple full. I wanted it to be the first
That
triple
would be
full,
sick.
but I had no power, bro. Yeah, it
And
was not ideal.
tumbling on that road, I imagine, is not the most, like I've just done things where we're landing on the road and running out. And it's not fun with the cars coming in. Like you're always kind of
Dude,
worried about that, even if
I
you're
don't know
still
how
mid flip.
these British boys don't care about traffic. Like they
Yeah.
just don't. They'll run in the middle of the street and like stop
Mhm.
cars for their friends. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
y'all are too much. Like I'm a force, but like they're like very
But they're
and
very assertive with what they want, I think.
I just don't like causing like a stump in the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. A bit
like
of a
society's
scene.
moving around the roundabout around IMAX. Like you're stopping cars, you're causing traffic now. Like I feel like weird as a person doing that. Even if I'm about to try a crazy trick, I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be an inconvenience.
yeah.
Yeah. So you've now moved out of LA completely. So you're there for 5 years. What's the motivation behind that? But also like how's the new move? Where have you moved to? Where can people find you?
So it's a simple answer. I only moved to Florida because I started a YouTube channel with my brother. That's literally it.
Boom. Yeah.
Aside the
Simple and
fact it's
concise.
cheaper in Florida, and it's always warmer in Florida than Cali. So year round is better training weather. Uh, that was really it. That was the only
So,
motivation.
sweet. So is that the that's not are you doing stuff with your brother on your bagels pain on your YouTube, or have you guys
No,
got a new YouTube
like
that
he's
people can
been in like
find?
we done like a trampoline park video like 2 or 3 times on my video and like some random other challenge, but like he's not predominantly on my channel. We started a whole brand new reactions channel.
Oh, cool. What's that called?
Just bros react or the
Bros
bros.
React.
So it's just some, no the bros. Yeah, it's just something simple,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's very like he's always telling me you need to find something that you can do not using your body because
Yes.
eventually you won't be walking and all this and you have built a channel where you're just talking to the camera, you don't have to do
Hmm.
flips, then let that one be the one that
Yeah,
overgrows your current channel and then you're kind of you know what I mean.
yeah. And I think it's a smart play to give yourself these contingencies and give yourself these alternate plans, especially when we are like high performance athletes. And as much as longevity is a huge part of the sport, when you're doing it in the performance realm, that's when you need to take into account that if you're making a living off doing just peak performance, that when that stops, which it inevitably will, where will you have your laid your oats and laid plans and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
For
it's not like you'll
someone
be
like
unable to move, but you might be able to perform to triple falls
yeah,
on concrete and shit.
I need to learn how to stretch and do yoga. And then
Yeah.
I might be able to continue a couple more years, squeeze it out a
Hmm.
little more, but I don't. So this is something that caught my attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You so would you say you're a YouTuber by trade? Then that's like your job title because you
Uh,
have your
yeah.
channel
I mean,
and
I make most of my income from YouTube, so I would say I'm a
mhm.
YouTuber,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you very much like and I think different to any of the guests we've had on the show so far this season is that you very much work in the content creation game, not even necessarily around your movement, but there's like a narrative piece. You have the extended YouTube family with Carter Scherer that you were working with in the past. I don't know if you guys are still parallel.
I'm at
I
his
mean, I
house
lose.
now.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah,
I always lose like there'll be titles for the videos where it says like, oh, I'm leaving Carter's there, and like because obviously it's playing into the narrative of those
yeah,
pieces, but then I'm like, wait,
exactly.
are they actually have they split? I don't because like there's
Yeah,
so many videos I like get lost. I'm like, wait, has he left? Is he left the car? Oh no, he's back. Okay, cool, yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
so you guys are still going strong and working together on all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I filmed 2 or 3 videos today with
Hmm.
them, and then I just got here yesterday from Amsterdam. I didn't even know I was gonna end up coming here. My flights got canceled, so this was the closest place for me to just swing to for the next few days.
And yeah,
So
yeah, and it's also great because you can be productive in that space and you know have somewhere comfortable and good for work as opposed to just
exactly.
being
And
like
then everyone
stuck
wants to
in.
make content here, and it works great. Everything around you is content, like bright colors, this, toys, that. So you just gotta get creative, and then you just do what's in front of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I've seen from your channel and people that would watch the channel would know, there's a very much a catered market to that entertainment demographic and younger audience that is coming through on YouTube. Those mainly streaming people who don't necessarily watch like television and that. Have you found like using those certain formulas, like you guys are always doing like challenges for cash and like creating different like competition scenarios and stuff like that? Do you find that uh really like enhances the viewership and engagement? And that is there any techniques that you would share with people to kind of forward their profiles and YouTube audience?
So it honestly depends on how when you started your channel and how you started your channel. Because my channel was built in 2009 off of samplers from like my tricking winter sampler, tricking summer sampler.
The classic
So
old
that's what my
Goodwood
channel was
formula.
built off of. Yeah. And then
Yes.
when I met them, it started going to like challenges. And I only did that
Hmm.
because they were telling me, well, this is what we do. You could try it on your channel because now you're filming with us. YouTube's going to put you in the algorithm with us.
Yes. Yeah.
So either I'm an idiot and I don't listen to the people who are experts at this, or I be arrogant and try to do it my way. So I tried
Yeah.
to do it my way for a little bit and it was doing okay, but it wasn't doing as well as it could do.
Hmm.
Why? Because I'm not listening. If I listened to them, it would have probably been a little quicker progress, but that was at the time when I was learning. It's all chapters of life and learning.
You do need to go through these things, and I think backing yourself and going for it is a good strength and quality to have, and then being able to also understand your like shortcomings and listen to advice and take on that information because you're always going to be doing it somewhat with your individual stroke of the brush. There's no way that Bagels wouldn't produce what Bagels does in his way, but it is what you say, like kind of shaping that and finding the best like advice you can seek to make that thing happen.
Yeah, it's like almost think of it like this, like look at an actor, for example.
Yeah.
They're playing so many different roles in so many different movies. You're not going to just associate them to one scary movie or one hardcore rock movie or a
Yeah.
sitcom. Like there's people like Tom Cruise plays several different roles. Jim Carrey, he plays several different roles, predominantly funny, right? But he plays
Yeah.
several different roles.
Yeah. Big range.
Same with me. I have my same thing, but I play several different roles. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, most of like, and it's honestly sucks to say it, but like most people in the tricking, tumbling, and parkour community hate on the stuff that I do because they don't understand the concept of this is a TV show I'm creating. You don't have to like my TV
Yes.
show, but you're gonna go home and watch fucking Netflix and then
It's the
worship
same
them. I'm like, bro,
energy that you're trying to produce
you
is
should
like a
support your friends who are doing it because they are the ones who are trying to not reinvent the wheel, but be one of the pioneers to do this type of stuff.
yeah. So would you
Like,
say your if you were creating a TV show and it had to finish like a genre, it would be like a lifestyle reality show, more than
yeah,
like an action sports show.
I would love to do stuff like that, but none of that does go to my channel. So back to what you were
Okay.
saying earlier about the cash challenges and all this, like the reason I do
Hmm.
those is because, well, one, mainly Carter had a whole long talk with me about this stuff. And he's like, yeah, so let's look at your videos from the past few months. Scroll through.
Hmm.
Okay. Now he's like, now look at your top five right here, and I'll show you your top five in the past 6 months. He's like, these are all 24-hour challenges, $10,000 challenges, nothing else.
Yeah.
So what does that tell me? If I don't read my analytics and data and I don't listen to it, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
and
think, as
it,
you said before, a lot of people in parkour and free running traditionally, and even like the tricking world, have been hesitant to somewhat only shape and listen to the views of what their audience is providing. But when you're making the split between an action sports person and a content creator, do you think there's more space for you to kind of mold your content to your audience while remaining good at your practitioner and doing what you do?
I feel like there is a way, and someone who's pretty good at that is Nick Provo, because he's the
Mm-hmm.
most followed YouTuber in parkour and tricking by far, by far.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much he makes because he posts like 2-minute videos, so he's not putting ads in the middle of them. He's doing like day in the life of
Yeah.
Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I actually
Yes.
tried some of those videos a few months ago because my brother was like, "Yo, you seen these videos? You should try those. You can film them by
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
They fit
You
your.
don't. I don't need anyone. I don't need Carter. I my brother's trying to tell me like try to learn like film stuff where you don't need anyone. You can just do it by yourself. So I tried a
Yes.
couple
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
those, right? I tried it for like 2
Mm-hmm.
months, all did terrible. So what did that tell me? Don't do it again. It's simple as
Mm-hmm.
that. I tried it. I saw what happened, and my audience clearly doesn't like it. So now that tells me I actually am literally categorized on YouTube as Team Raw or challenges. And if I do something
Yeah.
outside of that, then it's not the same. But also there's loopholes because my biggest video ever is when I got struck by lightning last year with Adam.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean,
So,
how many times can you pull off getting struck by lightning? It's not like it's just being in the
but
circumstance where you're recording everything gave you that opportunity to have that moment.
But
And
here's the
be
thing, like I didn't even capture the moment. I captured after it happened. So I could literally just go to a place that looks destroyed and say, guys, I was just in an earthquake. It's just how I sell the story. You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
literally because like you could hear the emotions. You couldn't hear where like acting on the videos. Like there's times
Mm-hmm.
I'm acting and people think it's real. I'm like, y'all are dumb. That was like there's no like, especially the ones where I'm like, I'm moving out of LA or something like those. Like people actually believe that. Even like my mom's
Mm-hmm.
called me a couple of times, like, dude, I just saw your video. You're moving? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not
So
moving.
as opposed to reality lifestyle, you would say there's almost like a stage narrative for entertainment purposes that you're putting out on your channel. Like it is somewhat fictional based. You are creating like as you said before, like a TV show that doesn't necessarily sit in the realm of what is exactly happening, but it takes inspiration from real life.
Yes, this is literally fictional. Straight
Got you.
up.
Yeah.
It's
And I think
all
if a lot of people
it's
went
all
in with that
fictional.
mindset, they would have a much clearer view and a much warmer response to those things. Because I think when we put ourselves on YouTube, like, you see Stora, see myself, it's very like, I am me and this is me
This is
doing
where I
what I
disagree.
do.
This is where I
Yeah.
disagree because people be constantly, oh, Squid Games, I wish this character did this. Bro, that's so fake. Why are you defending a character that's getting paid?
Yeah.
So you can't even really say the thing about Store and them being authentic or that. They're literally actors. People are arguing and defending them. Oh, Harry Potter this, Harry Potter. Like years later, things that are 20 years ago filmed. So how are you going to say someone like me, just because you know me from this flipping industry, I'm categorized as, oh, if he's not being real, then he's not real.
Well, that's
Like,
what I think is
like
just
I
a
want to be a
misconception.
full-time. I want to be a full-time actor now. I don't even want to flip anymore, just so people can get that category out of their head. Is like, oh, he should be real because he's jumping out buildings. That means what he says is real. Like, no, there's a difference.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can compare it, I guess, to like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Is like he was from wrestling, and when he moved into a legitimate acting field and entertainment field that was separate from his physical abilities, it was a while people to take him seriously, and there was a name change. And I think that's something that just having more people know about you is that your YouTube is created for entertainment fictional purposes, and then you are who you are separate to that will create more of a understanding from your audience. So it's cool to hear that and cool to see
I'd
your
say
perspectives
within
that
the
way.
past like 4 years, my YouTube is 95% fiction, 5% nonfiction. Like I just did one recently where my friend's colorblind and I bought him colorblind glasses. He's never had them in his life. And he saw color for the first time. I filmed that video and it did really well.
Yeah.
So like that's just that's not staged at all. I literally just said, yo, let's go get food. And instead we drove to a store and I bought him colorblind glasses. Little did he know I was filming him the night before of us taking colorblind tests online. And he didn't know I was even filming off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was going to buy him glasses because I was like, bro, he's never seen color properly. I'm going to change this man's life.
Yeah. And then that's that example of taking inspiration from real life and using that in the content. Though not specifically, it's all like fact. It's like you can take moments and you can also create them and use that, like, the different challenges and stuff like that. Do you work with, oh, sorry.
I was going to say, it's like, it's also funny because people will say like, I do all this fake shit, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, like if you look at who some of my biggest idols are, they're all doing real shit.
Mhm.
Storer, that's who got me into parkour. They only do real shit. Obviously, they have probably small things here and there where they set things up or say something just to let the audience sit on their toes. Like, oh, he's probably gonna fall off the bar hanging this time, or
Mhm.
like there's always little wordplay that people do, like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
kind of spice things up. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And I mean, we see in parkour the classic thing is someone does a jump and then everyone screams and it gives you that elation of like the moment. But then sometimes people scream, like I scream for every jump. So then how do you know which jump is like as a person not educated on the sport, how do you know which jump is like the good one and which one is like I'm just cheering for? So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
more nuanced view when you get into those like little intricacies of how the YouTube content conversion works from genuine real life as opposed to coming from a fictional narrative. But with this YouTube and stuff, do you work with management or with your own like social media aside from YouTube? Do you do work with management? Or is it all self-managed for you?
No, I do everything alone.
Have you ever worked with management?
Yeah. So Sam Parham with 1DS Collective, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
So he Sam Parham's old 3 run days, baby.
yeah. So
You
I don't say I'm managed by him. I've done stuff with him for like past 3, 6 months where he just gets me a deal,
have a
and
working
then I do the
relationship.
yeah, but it's not like I'm managed because I've literally got like one deal, two
Hmm.
deals, you know. Like
Hmm.
a management I feel like should be getting you deals back to back to back, pitching you left and right. Like I used to run a management with my brother and we were getting
Yep.
all of these influencers deals left and right because they didn't know how to talk. So all I
Yeah.
knew how to do was talk. So I would just use their name and pitch them and blah 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 blah. I get my percent, they get that, boom, done, next.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has so many people on his roster. I don't know if like I'm one of those people who are, harder to pitch, or if I'm not as easy to brand, because what I do is dangerous. But
Mm.
then I see him representing some people like Liver King, who's steroid out. He's literally just admitted he's on steroids now. Like your biggest client is a fraud, but now he's like bigger than ever. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Well,
how does
that's
that make
that's
how does that make me as a real ass human who's pushing their fucking heart every day and the hardest shit, but I'm like bottom barrel shit? That
yeah.
that
It's
makes me feel that to everyone, and I'll just go
but
run my life how I want to run it. You know what I'm
that's why
saying?
you've got to take control and be in the spot you're in with self management and self industry and building that brand that you've been
That's why I
working on
don't
for so
believe in
long.
managers, bro. Managers don't want the best for you. They want the best for them. They want what's the
Well,
most in
yeah,
their
I think
pocket.
unless you find that perfect, symbiotic partnership where like everything goes hand in hand, and maybe you've like grown up with the person, they really have the back and the best objective for you while wanting to do management. It is really tough to find, someone who's going to be on the same dedication level and aspiration level for your career as you are, especially someone like yourself who has achieved so many high level things and really wants to take that to such an extreme level. um, the normal channels that have been, used in the past and the different management kind of, I feel like there's a bit more networking and like who that goes into those fields, which I guess doesn't interest you. It doesn't interest me one bit. I don't want to
That's
network my
LA.
way or
That's
like
LA
lever my
written
way
all
through
over it.
friendship. Like, it's great. I like having friends and I like being good at what I do and professional, but I don't think that I like the idea of leveraging friendships or being part of this like hub or niche community that look out for only each other and others, like, which is not, I'm not claiming that anyone does, I'm just saying that's a
No,
general
they do, bro.
outlook
Literally
that
I'll say 2 or 3
very
years ago,
generalized view.
I got put in this group message on Instagram with like ton of big influencers like Chanel West Coast, Ryan Sheckler, bunch of random celebrities. And this group message on Instagram was made for whoever was in it. Anytime they post this on Instagram, they post it in this chat, and then anyone in the chat will go comment on their post and like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I looked for like a month or two, and I was like, honestly, this
It's
is
like
kind of
shared
dead.
community.
People are literally posting boring ass shit, and they're asking me to go like it on top of
Yeah.
all these other celebrities. And then most of the celebrities who had over 5 million in a thing wouldn't even respond to anyone else unless they had more following. Then they would go like their post. But if you're the bottom fish,
Yeah,
you wouldn't get engagement.
it's a
I
climbing
don't like
ladder.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
bro. I hate that stuff. I'm like, bro, none of y'all are athletic.
It's
Literally.
interesting to hear because you were so submersed in that celebrity social media LA universe that like a lot of us
Well, a lot. Well,
haven't seen or experienced. And it's funny to hear from personal experience that there is somewhat more of a social stacking ladder and more of a industry hungry mentality that there just isn't in our sport.
oh, it's only that. It's
Yeah.
literally only that. There's no, you won't go to LA for any other reason than that. Social building and people wanting to use you to climb the ladder and get to the next spot.
But they have nice
That's all it is.
beaches. They have nice beaches, man. Like, so it's
They
like
have nice beaches and they have
the
In and
great
Out, but
yeah, they have great like I really enjoy like the atmosphere and the energy and those sorts of things. But then I personally, even when I would come to like parties with you and people would start to talk business, I found that quite confronting personally. I was like, oh, I didn't want to talk about business at a social event, but
see
that
that
seems to be
literally
similar to the landscape.
LA parties are literally just straight talk business and network. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like Australia party where you're like, yeah, or like in
Woo!
this and like in the country, like where I'm from, like where you go to parties and there's drinking to have fun. Like I feel like at parties in LA, everyone tries to go because there's someone important there and they want to meet them and they want to figure out what they can do with them and get to the next thing and that and that and that
A
and
little bit
then
more
this
strategic, but not
yeah.
everyone, but as a general, for me anyway, it didn't that wasn't like everyone I interacted with, but like as an overarching view, there was like more of those things coming up than anywhere else I've been to.
Oh yeah, you're in the networking social media capital of the world. That's
Mm,
why you can't go to
yeah.
LA and expect someone not to talk to you about social media. Guarantee. I'm surprised no one put you in a TikTok. It's that bad out there, bro.
Well, my TikTok's banned. But moving slightly to the right with that, I your next year, will you be focusing more on social media? Will you be trying to get to more events? Will you be trying to take part in competitions? What is your next like, goal setting look like?
Honestly, getting my business life together. Like this one, I spent
Okay.
6 hours dealing with my taxes,
Mm-hmm.
completing my S corp correctly, setting up payroll through ADP. I've
Mm-hmm.
been like literally straight adult stuff that no one ever sees. People just go talk shit on the internet. And each time I just post a clip, I'm like, bro, I'm out here dealing with taxes, something you don't even know how to deal with
And I
on
think it's
with
good to
three
tell people
businesses.
it's good to
Oh,
tell people that you do work behind the scenes because a lot of younger athletes who might want to be making a living in the sport and they're just seeing the clips online, they think, okay, if I just go out and I train and I post the clips, that's going to be it. And as you know, as I know, that doesn't equal dollars in your bank account. That doesn't equal a salary. That doesn't equal substantial living
so
circumstance. You
like you just
have to
said,
work behind the scenes.
yeah, it doesn't put dollar in your bank account. And if you're living in America, you need to figure out the best strategy, especially if you're in our industry. How, and this is why YouTube's so good because a lot of stuff you use for YouTube, like phone, computer, mic, you can write that off because you're using it for your business,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can do some business meals when you go to dinner with people, you can
Yeah, if
write
you're
that
making
off.
meetings,
But
yeah,
as a personal, like if I was just a personal, like LLC, not even LLC, just a personal, like doing
entity,
my
yeah,
taxes
yeah.
like that, then you're just gonna pay fat taxes. You're gonna lose everything. You can't write anything off. I did that for the longest time. It was only the past
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 years where I've switched it over a business now. And I've been doing it wrong for the past 2 years. I literally just today, this morning, got it
Learning things as you
all
go.
finally. Bro, it's so. I literally told my brother I would not be upset if my plane crashed on the way home. Like, that's so stressful, bro. It is so stressful. And this is why I'm like, bro, I don't need people talking shit when I go home and just watch my Instagram. Like, I have so much other shit in my life I'm dealing with. I could care less about you saying, oh, well, if you sat longer, you would have landed your double backflip. Bro, eat my freaking toe. I don't even care, bro. Like,
Ah, eating toes is probably a good internet facet, internet thing you could go down and make a lot of coin. I feel like there's an industry for that.
oh yeah,
Get
feet
bagels
pics.
toes out there. Yeah, yeah. I've heard it works. I've heard it works. But so everyone out there, if you want to find Bailey's toes, where can they find your stuff online?
Toenail.org.
Turnout.org.
Just go watch my
So
last sampler. My
So it's got
toes
all
are
the
creeping
toes.
around.
Nice.
Lots of angles.
So that's Bagels Pain on YouTube, right? Or is it Bailey Pain
Yeah,
on YouTube?
Bailey Payne. I got two
Bailey Pain on
YouTubes,
YouTube.
but Bailey
Okay.
Payne's my main.
Yep. And then there's the one with your brother as well.
Yeah, the
What
bros. That's
the
our reaction.
bros?
So stay tuned for that because that should be hitting very high numbers soon. It's already doing
Cool.
really well.
Nice, nice. And then on Instagram, Bagels Pain, Bagels
Yep.
underscore Pain.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is our 11th episode. Our next episode will be our final episode. We're going to have Noah Diogina, who is one of the youngest athletes we've had, I think, at a level of industry that she's already acclaimed. She's been doing it since she was a little one. She's just absolutely killing it. So I will see you all next week.
I appreciate you for having me. And if you're still watching this,
Thank you,
everyone,
thank you, thank you.
get on your business grind. Stack the
Get
bread.
it.